and what the statute was for. This is for business expansion with a clear direction on expanding jobs and the areas of business for the location. We hope to give anywhere between $20,000 to $50,000 to eligible UEZ businesses for the expansion of their facilities with a clear indication of additional staffing and jobs created for that funding source. It'll be more in the form of a forgivable loan than, let's say, a specific grant, because we want to make sure that they're actually complying with what it is that we need them to.
Thank you so much. May I have a motion for the approval of this program proposal for Passaic and a second?
Madam Chair, Carmen Mendiola, I'm proud to motion this. Thank you.
Thank you, Carmen. May I have a second?
Second, Doug Schneider.
Thank you, Doug. It's been properly moved. The second is open for discussion. Do we have any questions, comments, or concerns from the board? Hearing none, James, could you please conduct a roll call vote?
Kim Holmes,
Yes?
Aaron Binder,
Yes.
Julie Diaz,
Yes.
Ty Cooper,
Yes.
Carmen Mendiola,
Yes.
Douglas Schneider,
Yes.
William Johnson.
Yes.
The motion carries.
Thank you, Ricardo. We wish you well with your programs.
Thank you very much. I just want to say it was nice seeing some of you in person at the Governors Conference, and I look forward to seeing more of you at the league. Have a good one.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Thank you. Next up is the approval of Perth Amboy UEZ Area Investigation Redevelopment Study in the amount of $150,000. Before we begin, are there any recusals or abstentions? Noelia, you want to walk us through it?
Sure. Thank you so much. So our first application that we have on the agenda for today is an area investigation redevelopment study. The UEZ funds will cover the expense of the planner to conduct a study that will evaluate economic development growth opportunities and potentially designate these areas as part of the study for future development to provide greater tax incentives to potential investors in the two selected areas within the UEZ zone, which happen to be 2nd Street and Smith Street. So we estimate that the study is going to take about 2 to 3 months to complete. So a study review, stakeholder meeting, and implementation is going to follow that area investigation as done, and then we'll proceed with hearing back from the planning board as a follow-up.
Thank you, Noelia. May I have a motion for the approval of this program proposal for Perth Amboy and a second?
Motion, Julie Diaz.
Thank you, Julie. May I have a second?
Second, Aaron Binder.
Thank you, Aaron. It's been properly moved and second. It's open for question, comments, or concerns. Do we have any? Hearing none, James, could you please conduct a roll call vote?
Kim Holmes,
Yes?
Aaron Binder,
Yes.
Julie Diaz,
Yes.
Ty Cooper,
Yes.
Carmen Mendiola,
Yes.
Douglas Schneider,
Yes.
William Johnson.
Yes.
The motion carries.
Thank you. Next up is the approval of Perth Amboy UEZ administration budget for fiscal year 24 from July 1, 2023 to June 30th, 2024, and the amount of $180,330. Before we begin, are there any recusal or abstentions? Noelia, you want to walk us through this one?
Yes, thank you very much. So the application for annual admin budget is typically based on an annual allocations, but since we didn't receive our annual allocation for FY24 just yet, we based it off of last year's allocation. So the funds of the admin budget will cover the costs, including salaries for mainly personnel and fringe benefits, and also additional expenses associated with advertising, promotion, and consumables and other consumables.
Thank you so much. May I have a motion for this program proposal for Perth Amboy and a second?
Motion, Julie Diaz.
Thank you, Julie. May I have a second?
Second, Carmen Mendiola.
Thank you. It's been properly moved by Julie, second by Carmen. It's open for discussion. Do we have any questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none, James, please conduct the roll call vote.
Kim Holmes,
Yes?
Aaron Binder,
Yes.
Julie Diaz,
Yes.
Ty Cooper,
Yes.
Carmen Mendiola,
Yes.
Douglas Schneider,
Yes.
William Johnson.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next up is the approval of Perth Amboy UEZ business training courses in the amount of $35,000. Before we begin, are there any recusals or abstentions? Noella, you want to walk us through this?
Absolutely. So our last application is for business training courses. So the City of Perth Amboy and the Middlesex County College's continuing education program would create a partnership to have the UEZ cover expenses for student enrollment for either the UEZ business member and or their employees to take basic training courses to attain additional skills to increase growth and assist in the business's goals. So the courses would look anything like QuickBooks training, marketing, social media, business promotion, storefront staging, taking a course on negotiation and customer service best practices. Our goal for the courses is to offer them seasonally for about 3 to about 12 weeks, depending on the skill set when applicable, of course, and then the class capacity would range between 10 to 20 attendees and be customized for the UEZ program. So these courses would actually run independently from the county college's continued education schedule to accommodate the times for the merchants.
Thank you so much. May I have a motion for the approval of this program proposal for Perth Amboy and a second?
Motion,
Carmen
Aaron Binder.
Mendiola, I'll make a motion.
Okay, I heard Aaron make the motion. I heard Carmen second. It's been properly moved to second. It's open for discussion, comments, or concerns. Do we have any? Hearing none, James, please conduct a roll call vote.
Kim Holmes,
Yes?
Aaron Binder,
Yes.
Julie Diaz,
Yes.
Ty Cooper,
Yes.
Carmen Mendiola,
Yes.
Douglas Schneider,
Yes.
William Johnson.
Yes.
The motion carries.
Thank you. Thank you, Noelia, and we wish you well with your programs.
Thank you very much.
Next up is the approval of Vineland UEZ Main Street Microbrewery Project in the amount of $2 million. Before we begin, are there any recusals or abstentions? Sandra, you want to walk us through it?
Sure. So Vineland is requesting $2 million for the Vineland Development Corporation, which is the economic development corporation for the city, to construct a new building in the downtown, 6,000 square feet with an outdoor terrace to rent to a microbrewery. There's 3 main objectives for this. One is the site is vacant. It's the site of an old, our former newspaper building. The site was demolished over a decade ago, so it's a vacant lot in our Main Street district, and it attracts trash and trespassers. So we've been wanting to redevelop that property. Microbreweries are known to attract both local community residents as well as people outside of the community. So that would be bringing money from outside of the community and from the residents that don't normally come downtown. They would be coming downtown. In addition, we have a lot of small ethnic restaurants in the downtown, and microbreweries are not allowed to sell food, but the patrons can order food. So we really believe that this would be a great boon for our downtown little restaurants. And there's also many articles that are written on how microbreweries have been behind a lot of downtown revitalizations, and we believe that this would be the same for our downtown. The Vineland Development Corp has done many projects in the downtown. We bought the old vacant J&J Newberry building. It was a 38,000 square foot building. We redeveloped into a public market that lasted for several years, and right now we are converting it to a movie studio. So we have a lease with a movie studio. We also own that. We bought the Landis Theater. It was revitalized, and then we sold it, and now it's an active theater. It has events every single weekend and has a restaurant attached. And we've also have bought through the years several properties that were in need of redevelopment. We buy them and we either redevelop them or we sell them to people. So we have been the catalyst for the downtown.
Thank you so much. May I have a motion for the approval of this program proposal for Vineland and a second?
Ty Cooper, motion.
Thank you, Ty. May I have a second?
Carmen Mendiola.
Thank you. It's been properly moved by Ty, second by Carmen. It's open for discussion. Do we have any questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none, James, please conduct a roll call vote.
Kim Holmes,
Yes?
Aaron Binder,
Yes.
Julie Diaz,
Yes.
Ty Cooper,
Yes.
Carmen Mendiola,
Yes.
Douglas Schneider,
Yes.
William Johnson.
yes,
Motion carries 7.
Thank you, Sandra. We wish you well on your
Thank
program.
you so much. Thank you.
Got it. Before we move to item 22, I want to go back and see, do we have a representative here from Camden? James, could you please direct someone from UEZ to call to see where the, where Camden is and they're not on this meeting? Because I would hate to have it pushed back to November. So could someone, Joe, could you reach out to
yeah,
see what
we,
Camden is?
we've been calling him, we have 3 points of contact for him. There's no answer on any of them. So
Okay,
we've been repeatedly calling him.
thank you so much. So we'll move
Fortunately.
on with our agenda. Next up is the approval of the Urban Enterprise Zone Authority 5-year master plan guideline. Before we begin, are there any recusals or abstentions? James, you want to walk us through this?
Yes, thank you. The guidelines are structured based on existing legislation for the UEZ to direct and set up a baseline for accepting a community into the UEZ, making a request to the board. And the second, looking at setting parameters in terms of the setting up and getting approval for the UEZ. So the 5-year master plan has different options, 3 different options. The first option, and you have approved as a board, the 5-year plan through the Enterprise Zone Assistance Fund, in which we go through an authorization, we go through the RFP, and there's then the financial commitment to be provided once a consultant is selected and there's a municipal contract. The second option is the Enterprise Zone Assistance Fund, in which funds are used by the municipality to hire somebody within, in terms of municipal staff, to conduct the study and put the RFP together and do the project. The third option is many communities want to proceed with the development and to go towards the preliminary zone development plan, and they have their own funding, either through second generation funds or another municipal source, or they have a third party supporting that. And all these bases have been written into the plan based on the existing regulations through statute for us to be able to monitor the project, to make sure as we provide the staff to you as a board to whether you accept the application or not and accept the plan or not. And so we're asking for you to set these guidelines. They will set all parameters towards proceeding and doing the zone development plan.
Thank you. May I have a motion for the approval of this program proposal for the Urban Enterprise Zone Authority and a second?
I'll move it. Carmen Mendiola.
Thank you,
Second, Doug
Carmen.
Schneider.
Thank you, Doug. It's been properly moved in second. It's open for discussion. Do we have any questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none, James, please conduct a roll call vote.
Kim Holmes,
Yes?
Aaron Binder,
Yes.
Julie Diaz,
Yes.
Ty Cooper,
I have to abstain from this one. I'm so sorry.
Carmen Mendiola,
Yes.
Douglas Schneider,
Yes.
William Johnson.
yes,
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next up is the approval to authorize Jersey City a request for proposal for preparing a 5-year plan. Before we begin, are there any recusal or abstentions?
Yeah, Madam Chair, Carmen Mendiola, I'm going to recuse myself from 23 and 24.
Okay. Do we have any other recusal or abstentions? Florence, you want to walk us through it?
Yes, good afternoon and thank you. In order to comply with legislation regarding the zone development plans, we have prepared an RFP to retain a consultant to prepare Jersey City's 5-year plan. So we're asking for authorization of our RFP so we can move forward with the first step.
Thank you so much. May I have a motion for the approval of this program proposal for Jersey City and a second?
Motion, Aaron Binder.
Thank you, Aaron. May I have a second?
Julie
Second, Doug
Diaz.
Schneider.
Thank you, Julie, for the second. It's been properly moved. The second is open for discussion. Do we have any questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none, James, please conduct a roll call vote.
Kim Holmes,
Yes?
Aaron Binder,
Yes.
Julie Diaz,
Yes.
Ty Cooper,
Yes.
Douglas Schneider,
Yes.
William Johnson.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next up is the approval for Jersey City to authorize acceptance of a request for proposal for undertaking a 5-year plan not to exceed $125,000. Before we begin, are there any recusals or abstentions? Florence, you want to walk us through it?
Yes, thank you. Yes, this is associated with the previous item with the RFP. This is for the dollar amount for the zone assistance funds. It will not exceed $125,000 per the legislation.
Thank you so much. May I have a motion for the approval of this program proposal for Jersey City and a second?
Motion, Aaron Binder.
Thank you, Aaron. May I have a second?
Second,
Julie.
Doug Schneider.
Diaz.
Thank you, Doug. It's been properly moved by Aaron, second I heard by Doug. Do we have any questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none, James, please conduct the roll call vote.
Kim Holmes,
Yes?
Aaron Binder,
Yes.
Julie Diaz,
Yes.
Ty Cooper,
Yes.
Douglas Schneider,
Yes.
William Johnson.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you so much, Florence, and we wish you much success with the plan.
Thank you very much. Have a good
You
afternoon.
got it. You too. I believe I just saw Camden come on. Camden, are you
He's
on?
on now. He's on.
Oh, okay. Board members are going to item 10, and on the agenda is the approval of Camden UEZ, Camden Strong UEZ Marketing and Business Expo in the amount of $400,000. Before we begin, are there any recusals or abstentions? Hearing none, Joe, you want to walk us through it?
Yes, I do. Thanks again, folks, for bearing with me. And I'd like to thank you, Ms. Holmes, for being a steady rock in a weary land and all that we went through and all we've been through for the past year. You have kept us on target and on point. And with you and your staff up there, I just want to thank you, and we all appreciate you. The Camden Festival, it's time for us to celebrate and get some business into our UEZ boundaries. With this festival, it will be a dynamic marketing tool to put business and money in the streets of where our UEZ businesses are. We will be doing some business expo entrepreneur training that will allow not only our community residents and our UEZ residents, but the world to know that we're in business in Camden. We'll be bringing in some speakers to talk about business and how business could be better, not just in the city of Camden with our UEZ boundaries, but across the state of New Jersey. This money will allow us to do that on an economically and impactful way. And if we're approved of that, City of Camden would be grateful and honored to be able to put on this festival.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. I just want you to know that I have the absolute pleasure of working with a dynamic board and with the UEZ staff. So we all do this together. So I just wanted you to know that while giving me the kudos, I turn it right back on to our board and to the UEZ staff. So with that having been said, may I have a motion for the approval of this project proposal for Camden and a second?
Motion, Julie Diaz.
Thank you, Julie. May I have a second?
Second, Aaron Binder.
Thank you, Aaron. It's been properly moved in second. It's open for discussion. Do we have any questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none, James, you want to conduct the roll call vote?
Kim Holmes,
Yes?
Aaron Binder,
Yes.
Julie Diaz,
Yes.
Ty Cooper,
Yes.
Carmen Mendiola,
Yes.
Douglas Schneider,
Yes.
William Johnson.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next up is the approval of Camden UEZ, Camden Strong UEZ Micro Capital Improvement in the amount of $350,000. Before we begin, are there any recusal or abstentions? Hearing none, Mr. Thomas, you want to walk us through it?
Absolutely. Once again, folks, I'd like to thank you for the a la carte programs that we have in the city of Camden. As you know, we did launch the macro capital improvement program that had a lot to do with the outside exterior and with the facade and a bigger purchase. But wherever there's something grander and bigger, there always should be something smaller. This smaller micro capital program will help the inside of these programs. So if they want to do renovations inside, they want to buy equipment, they want to do stuff that makes the inside feel and look just as beautiful as the outside, this program will allow them to do that. It's a forgivable financing that is attached to their property for 5 years. As long as they stay in the business for 5 years, we will forgive it. And once again, this is for the smaller mom and pop, the 110 employees or less type business that want to do something in the inside. And once again, kudos to the UEZ for allowing City of Camden to come up with these initiatives that borderline, that is grassroots from CBDG style, going out to make sure we get multiple businesses involved. And we look to tend to at least touch 100 businesses within this fiscal year, with 2022 all the way up to 2024. If I'm allowed to do this, I'm sure I will make not only the other coordinators and the other states proud of what we're doing, but the whole entire New Jersey state will be able to get kudos from a project like this.
Thank you so much. May I have a motion for the approval of this request proposal for Camden and a second?
I'll move it. Carmen Mendiola.
Thank you, Carmen. May I have a second?
Ty Cooper, second.
Thank you, Ty. It's been properly moved in second. It's open for discussion. Do we have any questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none, James, please conduct the roll call vote.
Kim Holmes,
Yes?
Aaron Binder,
Yes.
Julie Diaz,
Yes.
Ty Cooper,
Yes.
Carmen Mendiola,
Yes.
Douglas Schneider,
Yes.
William Johnson.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas, and we wish you well on your programs.
Thank you.
This concludes the action items. So moving forward with old business, are there any items to discuss? And now we move to our public comment. We look forward to receiving public comments at this time. Members of the public, please note that you can press *6 to mute and unmute yourself. As a reminder, please keep your comments limited to the jurisdiction of this entity and under 2 minutes. Do we have any comments from the public? Thank you so much. And I just wanted to ask those who are on this call if we can take like a minute for a moment of silence to wish peace in Israel, peace in Jerusalem. So if it's okay with you, can we just take a moment of silence to, reflect upon peace in our world, in our nation, in our country? I thank you so much. If there are no additional comments, I would like to thank everyone for their participation. We had 20 items on the agenda and we moved expeditiously but efficiently. So I just want to thank the board. I want to thank the UEZ staff and all the coordinators. And at this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting in a second. May I have a motion?
Real quick, Dr. Holmes, I'm so sorry. This is Ty. For the board item I abstained on for the 5-year plan, I thought I had not received it in time to review it. I did, so I want to make sure that abstention turns into an affirmative. It was just the one I abstained on. It was just we got it yesterday, but I wanted to make sure I had time to review it. So I'm sorry. I just wanted to make sure that that was clear for the record. So my apologies on that one.
Okay,
Thank
Not a
you so much,
problem.
Dr. Holmes.
no problem. So may I
Motion to
have a,
adjourn.
thank you, Doug. It's been moved by Doug. May I have a second?
Second, Ty
Mendiola.
Cooper.
Yep, Ty
I
Cooper.
think I heard Carmen second before you, Ty. So it's been properly moved in second. James, please conduct a roll call vote.
Kim Holmes,
Yes?
Aaron Binder,
Yes.
Julie Diaz,
Yes.
Ty Cooper,
Yes.
Carmen Mendiola,
Yes.
Douglas Schneider,
Yes.
William Johnson.
Yes.
The motion carries.
And this concludes our meeting at 2:57 PM. I thank you again, and I look forward to seeing you next month.
Thank
Everyone,
you.
take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh,
Be safe.
I thank
Madam
you.
Chair,
Pretty safe.
Did you have
Madam Chair.
something to say, James?
yes, we forgot to ask about December.
I will send an email out to the board about that.
Okay.
Everyone, take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.